Today on an all-new Dr. Phil. She says her fiancé,
I love him so much.
You're in love with somebody that you've never met?
Is stuck in Egypt.
I sold my car and sent him $7,000.
She's even selling her house.
This is a scam.
She has a realtor who's saying, don't do this.
And it closes in 2 days.
The clock is ticking. We sent a crew to Cairo to find the love of her life. Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
Today's going to be a changing day in your life.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. Well, I am glad you are here today because this is special. Just a few days ago, I got an urgent email from one of my producers saying that the clock was ticking for one of my guests today. I had to step in because we are just hours away from this sweet 69-year-old woman, Patsy, losing everything she has, and I mean everything. This is the video submission she sent to the show. Take a look.
John is the man that I am madly in love with, and I want to marry him. And he's madly in love with me and wants to marry me. And my family's against it, but only because they don't know him. Just because we met online doesn't make him any less of a man. He's so sweet, kind-hearted, Catholic, so he doesn't curse, he doesn't run around, he doesn't smoke, he doesn't drink, he doesn't gamble. And he's stuck in Cairo, and I wanted to send him the money to come home on so that we could be married.
Well, Patsy's sister Linda and niece Karen say Patsy is being scammed by, you guessed it, Catfish, who is stealing her heart and not some, but all of her money. Now, Patsy has been sending thousands of dollars to this online love of her life, John Robert Crush. Now, according to her family, Patsy picked out a diamond ring, a wedding dress, sold her car, and has gone into major credit card debt, all for John, a man she has never even met in person. But it gets worse. Now John has convinced Patsy to sell her house and give him some of the proceeds of the sale to help him get to the U.S. from Egypt so they can marry and have the millions of dollars coming to him and live happily ever after. Now, it was interestingly enough, Patsy's real estate agent, Cyril, who contacted Linda, concerned that the house was closing in just 2 days from today, and that even he thought her sister was being catfished. Linda immediately contacted me to see if there was any way I could stop her sister Patsy from making the biggest mistake of her life.
My sister Patsy met this man named John on an internet dating website, and she told me he was from Egypt. Patsy told me that John was going to come to the United States and buy her a house and a car. I told her it was a scam, and she got real upset, told me I didn't want her to be happy, that she had met the man of her dreams, and to just butt out of her business. They don't do phone conversations. They don't even do FaceTime. All they do is text. Patsy's excuse for that is technology in Egypt is not the same as it is here in the U.S. I'm surprised that Patsy would fall for this kind of scam. Growing up, we always looked to her as being the smart one of the family. Within 3 months of her meeting John, she started sending him money. Patsy sold her car, and she sent him about $7,000. Was it your idea to sell your car?
He did ask me to do that.
John has asked my sister to buy $8,000 worth of gift cards. She's done that numerous times for different amounts. Patsy gave John access to a credit card. And John would withdraw $8,000 from the credit card, deposited it back like he was paying her back, and then immediately take it out again. Her bank called her and told her it was a scam. John has racked up $50,000 worth of debt on credit cards that Patsy can't pay. In the 8 months that they've known each other, I believe Patsy's given John between $70,000 and $75,000. Patsy needs to realize at this point she's getting played. Patsy is living off of $1,900 a month. My sister right now only has about $200 left in her savings account. Patsy is broke, but she's still trying to find ways to send him money.
Look, Patsy is about to lose the one thing she has left, and that's her home. And Linda is afraid her sister will end up homeless and on the street.
I didn't know that Patsy was selling her house until last week.
I want to sell my house to help John pay off his bills and have the airfare to come home.
Patsy's real estate agent called me. He realized that she's being scammed, and he's been trying to convince her John is not real.
John did not ask me to sell my house. This was what I thought of.
If Patsy sells this house, she's going to be homeless.
The day we close, the money is wired into my account. I will send John the $20,000 that he needs, and during those 2 or 3 days, I will stay in a motel. When he comes to the States, he'll have his $1 million paycheck, and it's the only way I would sell my house.
When John takes the house, he'll stop talking to her. There's nothing else she can send him. She has no other assets.
Linda, I'm glad you wrote in.
I was desperate. I don't know how to convince her that this is a scam.
You've seen me deal with these situations in the past, right?
Many times. I even told her in the first or second conversations I had about this, anybody that's ever seen the Dr. Phil show knows this is a scam.
She has a realtor who's saying, don't do this.
Yes. There's just no way to stop it.
Yeah, well, we'll see about that. What we want to do is protect the money. Exactly. That's the thing, right? Because if she loses this, that's a lot of money to her. That's everything, right?
That's everything.
And so the idea is to stop that. And I'm going to tell you, I'm not done till we have this shut down. I'm just going to tell you that right now. Somehow.
You're my last hope, and it really is.
Someday. All right, look. Patsy says she has never felt love like this before, and she wants her family to just butt out of her personal business. Take a look.
I never thought about computer dating, but one day I stumbled across this website and I thought, well, I'll just give it a try. I ran across John's picture. That smile just broke my heart. It was love at first sight. I was head over heels. We texted every day for 2 or 3 months. Eventually, I just knew that this was the one. John is romantic, thoughtful, kind, just everything I ever dreamed of. I never knew I was craving love until I met John. He writes me poetry. His texts are romantic. A doctor can save my life. A lawyer can defend my life. But only you can give me a meaningful life. I love you. I just think about him and I can tear up because I love him so much. John and I have only talked maybe 5 times. Now I'm in Texas. He's in Cairo, and it was just a long-distance, static-y mess. The only things I could make out were, I love you, baby. I miss you, baby. All we do now is text 20 times a day. Linda is very negative. When I told her that I had met John on a website, she said, oh, hell no. She said, he can be anybody. He may even be a woman, for all you know. I wish Linda and my family would just let me live my life. And if they don't approve of who I've chosen, they can just go on about their business and stay out of mine.
Okay, well, I'm glad to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Tell me about why him? Why are you in love with him?
My first marriage, I got married right before I was 18, and I got divorced at 21. This would be my second marriage.
Really?
And, yes.
So you've been single, you got divorced, you've been single for like 50 years?
50 years. I never wanted
Well, don't rush into it.
I know.
It's been 50 years?
50 years, and this is the way I looked when I was 17.
All right.
I had dark hair.
Yes. Well, I had hair when How long before something clicked and you said, this is special, there's something about this guy?
It was about 3 months into it, and he said, I have a question for you. And I said, okay, what's that? He said, will you marry me? I said, well, of course I'll marry you. You're like, a joke. And then 6 or 7 months into it, he said, now you do remember that you promised to marry me. And I knew then that he was serious. This guy is my guy. This is my man. This is the man I've been dreaming of.
And he's romantic.
He is very romantic.
You like it when he calls you honey and baby, and
yeah, yes.
So there's music to your eyes.
No, I read it out loud so I can hear it.
Did it seem odd to you that you're in love with somebody that you've never physically met?
Yeah, seems a little odd.
When was the first time that he asked you for money?
I don't know, 2 or 3 months into the thing, he asked me to send him an iPhone so we could talk. And I bought an iPhone, and I sent it to him. And to come to find out, you can't get the phone unlocked in Egypt.
You can't get it unlocked.
Something about the SIM card, too. I don't know.
Does that seem commonsensical to you?
Well, yeah, because it's Egypt. I don't know anything about Egypt. I know they're different we are.
You're going to learn a lot about Egypt today. You have no idea. All right, we're going to take a break. Next, Patsy says she's furious because her sister doesn't believe in her fiancé, but Patsy is here to prove that John is the real deal and get her sister to back off. We'll talk about that next.
John deposited money into my account, then asked me to buy gift cards. The next day, the deposit was reversed, and he said he didn't know anything about it. I'm probably about $50,000 in debt from fraudulent charges.
And later, I've taken this so seriously that we sent a crew to Cairo, Egypt. So, who is John Robert Crush?
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil. Is he being stalked?
She'll hide behind that tree. She will bang on my door.
By his ex-girlfriend?
He doesn't want you to. I don't care what he wants.
He says that he's gone to sleep only to wake up and find you in bed with him.
Never happened.
Leave now. Drop my property now.
Did you key his car?
Yeah, I keyed his car.
He doesn't want you there. I don't care.
I had to get a restraining order.
Why do you not adhere to it?
Because I'm in love with her.
That's tomorrow.
Patsy called me and asked me if I would give her $8,000 to send to John. I told her, hell no, he's not getting not $1 of my money. About 2 or 3 weeks ago, Patsy asked me for $150 worth of groceries. I told Patsy that even if he is real, what kind of a man would leave you sitting here with no groceries and no money? Patsy said that John knows that she can take care of herself, but in reality, if I'm having to pay for her groceries, she's not able to take care of herself.
Well, Linda is extremely worried about her sister Patsy, who is just hours away from being homeless because she's sending money to a man she met online named John. Now, Patsy is willing to do anything to have money for John, even going back to work as an Uber driver at age 69. Take a look.
John has been a project engineer now for 35 years. He just finished building a platform rig. They had promised him $1 million bonus when it was finished. The project is finished, but they won't give it to him because he was supposed to pay his workers a $25,000 bonus. John told me ISIS bombed 2 Muslim mosques last Good Friday. 3 of his workers were badly injured, so he took $15,000 of the $25,000 that he had raised for the bonuses to pay their hospital bills. I asked him, why would you spend money that you had saved to come home to me? He said, honey, I had to save their lives. And that's the kind of kind-hearted man that I'm in love with. John asked me if I had anything I could sell to help him. And so I sold my car for $7,000 and I sent that to him. And then I bought him an iPhone. Come to find out, the SIM card doesn't work in Egypt. The iPhone is probably about $700. John deposited money into my account from Egypt, then asked me to buy gift cards that he could use to pay off his workers. The next day, the deposit was reversed, and he said he didn't know anything about it. I'm probably about $50,000 in debt from fraudulent charges. I don't think John understands American banking.
So far, in terms of the money that you say you've sent to him, you said you sent him $1,000 from your savings, and credit card debt has gotten up close to $50,000, right? And $7,000 from your car. You've paid motel and internet bills and an iPhone, $140 for shipping. You gave access to your bank account, and you said it got wiped out with fraudulent.
Well, they closed it because of the deposits being reversed.
They thought you were being scammed.
Yeah, they thought so.
Okay, so they thought it was being scammed, and you're selling your home, and you're going to make over $100,000 out of that, some of which you want to use to pay off John's debt to the Muslims. Mm-hmm. And so your total's going to wind up like $58,000 plus, right?
Yeah.
And you said you sent him gift cards?
iTunes cards. He said he uses those to give to his workers to pay off.
$8,000 worth of iTunes cards?
Well, yeah. He's got 300 workers, and he has to pay them. And
he's
with
paying them in
iTunes
iTunes?
cards? Not all of them.
Has he pressured you to sell your house?
No. He asked me if at one time, do you have anything that you can sell? And I sold my car and sent him $7,000.
There are some things that I found suspicious about him.
Yeah, that might raise red flags for people.
He has a heavy French accent, right? Mm-hmm. But yet he lived in the U.S. until he was 12. And I'm
not sure that's a fact. He was born in Paris. Sometime in there, they came to the States. And when he was 12 years old, they were in the States, and his father died of a heart attack.
And that's when he moved to Paris to live with his uncle.
Yes.
Okay, and he went to the University of Paris where he got his engineering degree.
Right.
And he has poor grammar English-wise.
Yes, he does.
But it's hard to talk to him on the phone because the reception is really poor.
Oh, the reception's
Terrible.
staticky. Yeah.
Yeah, so you damn sure can't video chat.
Right.
There's not enough bandwidth for that.
Yeah.
He says he works on oil rigs, but he builds bridges?
He builds anything that anybody wants built. He's an engineer.
And he won't tell you what company he works for?
I asked him what company is paying him. He said Abu Dhabi is paying me. I don't know if he meant the government of Abu Dhabi had hired him to build this platform rig, or that's what he said.
He's told you, because I've read the text, don't talk to your family. Don't tell them you're sending me money. Don't tell them what we're doing.
Because I've told him how they act about it. And so he's like, don't tell them anything. Just, it's none of their business.
Did that worry you?
That he said that?
Yeah.
No.
It worried me because I know that the number one tool of an abuser is isolation. They're going to take advantage of somebody. They're going to abuse them in any way. First thing they do is isolate them, get them to cut off ties with friends, family, church, community, isolate them. So only person talking to them is them.
Why is it anybody else's business what I'm doing with my life?
He told you not to come to Dr. Phil, right?
He did not want me to come to Dr. Phil. He didn't want me talking about him. And I wish I'd listened to him, too.
Patsy's niece says Patsy needs to wake up. John is not real, and he's not going to marry her. Well, let's add the niece to the conversation next.
John proposed to me by text.
I was just shocked.
And I said, of course I'll marry you. I went and picked out a nice diamond ring. I would marry him tomorrow if he was here. I would.
And later, I have your phone right here. You can text him right now and say, we're going to hand him this, a ticket from Cairo to Houston.
After 3 months of talking to John, she told us that they were getting married, and I was just shocked.
John proposed to me by text, and I thought it was just, kind of a joke. And I said, of course I'll marry you, thinking he's just being silly. I went and picked out a nice diamond ring, took a picture of it and sent it to him, and he was thrilled.
She told us that John had bought her a $4,000 engagement ring, and come to find out, she put one on layaway herself. She wanted all of her nieces to be her bridesmaids, all of this on an expensive yacht. She had a wedding planner, the cake. She had bought bridesmaids' gifts. She lost all the money she put down on the wedding.
Then he proposed again several months later, and I was very serious about him at that point, and I said yes, of course. I haven't done anything about a venue or a dress or anything because I want to wait until he's here. It's our marriage, it's not just my marriage. I would marry him tomorrow if he was here. I would.
Well, Patsy's niece Karen says all compassion is gone for her aunt. Take a look.
My Aunt Patsy is head over heels over a guy she's never met. I really got suspicious when she stated that he is in Cairo, Egypt. She told me that he writes her incredible love letters and that she thinks it's so cute because he mixes his words up. No, that's because he's using a translation app. I've watched enough Dr. Phil shows to see so many scams. I asked her to get me a passport photo. She refused. She wouldn't let me run a background check. She wants this fairy tale so bad that she's willing to compromise everything, even her common sense. I seriously do hope Dr. Phil can help my aunt, but at this point, I feel like she is just lonely and very desperate for attention.
Well, joining us now is Karen via Polycom. And Karen, you said you've lost all compassion for her, but the truth is you want her to be safe. You don't want her to be taken advantage of any more than she already has, if you believe that she has been taken advantage of, right?
There is no doubt that she's been taken advantage of. Everyone is so worried about her that they're sick.
Well, we're going to talk about that. And, you said he spent a lot of money taking care of his workers, some of whom were injured when there was the ISIS bombed 2 mosques in Cairo over the Easter, Good Friday time there, right?
Right.
And did you read much about those bombings?
But I didn't read it.
I did research looking for attacks in Cairo at the time, and I searched the Egyptian newspaper, the world newspapers. I searched everywhere, and there were no attacks on any mosque in Cairo in or around Easter.
Really?
That didn't happen. You didn't read that in the newspaper because it didn't happen.
I guess he told me he was in the newspaper.
If there weren't any bombings, then there weren't any injuries, so there's nothing to pay off before he can come home.
That's true, too.
There were no bombings.
Okay.
Okay, well, let's just put that aside for a minute, okay?
Yes.
Now, he is an engineer because you said he's built bridges, he's built oil rigs. Over there, of course, these big structures, people can be killed if they're not built properly, so you have to have an engineering degree, which he got from the University of Paris.
Right.
Well, we researched the University of Paris, and I talked to them. It's no longer an institution. In May of 1968, it was reorganized into 13 different schools, and it offers 4 different faculties: medicine, law, theology, and arts. The conclusion is they do not offer an engineering degree. They never have offered an engineering degree. And he's never been a student at the University of Paris. Ever. Period.
Okay.
Look, I've found someone who has heard of John Crush before. After the break.
My fiance, John Robert Crush, is the real deal. He is really who he says he is. His stories always make sense. He's never slipped up. I have never caught him in a lie. John asked me to help him. He has nobody but me, and I will help him out any way I can.
Patsy says the man of her dreams is not a phony, is not a catfish, but her sister Linda says, no, it's not true. He's a scammer. Linda emailed me desperate to help Patsy before it is too late. And the reason is she's selling her house. It closes in 2 days, and she's afraid that he is going to get his hooks into her. He's going to get that money. He's going to get it over there, and then she is going to be left with nothing. So my team, I'm telling you, I have the best team in television. And since we got your contact, they have been up 24 hours a day working around the clock to find out if this person is real or if it is not. I kid you not, I have had 10 people that have been burning the midnight oil 24 hours a day working on this. John Crush, this is not the first time that this name has popped up. Here's what we got from something called Pigbusters, and it's pigbusters.net, and that is a website that is designed to identify scammers. And here's what we've got. The email for him is johncrush001 at, and I've put asterisks there just to protect. I don't think he deserves it, but nonetheless, .com. Garden City, Cairo, Egypt, correct?
Right.
Okay. Now, this was not written to you. This was written to somebody else.
Okay.
And I just noticed Garden City, Egypt, my love, honey, I promise to pay you back your money. Honey, the hotel manage have not released my passport. My love, honey, honey, my love. Over here, same address. Honest and God-fearing man. Over here, same address. This is Friday, May 17th of 2013. Much people appreciate love, but yet we have to go the extra mile to get this great status. Forgive my manners. My name is John, an engineer of international repute. I deal basically with oil platforms. Honey, same address. John. Honey, my love, honey, baby, oil platforms, same address, different women, time and time again. There's a phone number that he's given you, and the number is a subscriber of a free app. It does not attach to a service provider or a physical address. It's difficult to trace. The online search shows that it is an app that is used by scammers.
I didn't know they had such a thing.
Well, yeah, they do, and he's using one of them.
Yeah.
So you can't tell where it's coming from.
Pretty much you've made your point.
Well, there's a love letter that you read that was really moving to you. A doctor can save my life. A lawyer can defend my life. A soldier can give me a peaceful life, but only you can give me a meaningful life. I love you. So we did a search on that, and this is lifted out of...
Well, I knew it was lifted from somewhere.
Yeah, 69 unconventional ways to remind her how much she means to you.
I think he's used all 69 of them.
Yeah. Next. You notice the broken English that's there? Mm-hmm. They don't fix it on purpose. I'll tell you why after the break. Patsy is learning some things about her fiancé in the last 20 minutes that she hasn't learned in the last 8 months that they've been online dating. We sent a crew to Cairo, Egypt, to help Patsy finally lay eyes on the love of her life. Egyptian television host Adham El Kamouni has been trying to track him down from the minute we called him. Take a look.
Dr. Phil, we're in the heart of Cairo. We're going inside immigration now to see if John Robert Crush ever stepped foot in this country. I'm standing in immigration. Egypt is a country where you have to renew this visa every 30 days, even if you're working here. And there's no sign of John Robert Crush coming into this country. يعني انت دلوقتي بتقول مفيش 6؟ لا 2 احمد راغب مفيش 6 دي مش موجوده مفيش الا 2 احمد راغب. You just said number 6 Ahmad Raghib Street, which is that street, does not exist. عمرك شفت الراجل ده قبل كده؟ لا ما شفتوش لا. He said he never saw this guy before. Never. He's been here his entire life and he never saw this guy ever here. I've been to immigration and I've been to the address, which does not exist. There's no such thing as 6 Ahmad Raghib. Those people here next to me assure me that this guy they never saw.
There's no John Crush there. He's never checked in there, not the last 30 days, not ever. There's never been anybody by that name in Cairo. And he's made a really big point that he can't talk to you on the cell much because the reception is so bad in Garden City. And he certainly can't get on FaceTime with you. I'm right now FaceTiming to Garden City, to the gentleman that was just on that videotape. Adham, how are you?
I'm fine. Greetings from Cairo, Egypt.
It looks to me like you are just clear as a bell.
Well, you're exactly right, Dr. Phil. And you know what? I want to tell you something. Egyptians say your name feel, not Phil. And
well,
you know what feel means in Arabic?
Tell me.
No offense, but elephant.
Yeah. Well, Adham, I think we do have a bad connection here. But just so you know, the man that says he can't talk to you and can't get online with you so you can see his face, that wonderful smile that you love so much, I just dialed him up sitting right here. This is live to Cairo.
Doesn't matter that he only has a flip phone.
I have your phone right here. You can text him, and Adham is happy to go and film him call you right now so we'll know that it's him. Then you'll know he's real, won't you? Because this man right here has a camera, and he'll go over there and he'll shoot him calling you. He's prepared to hand him this because I have purchased for him a ticket from Cairo to Houston. And this is a copy of that ticket.
He will not leave Egypt without that $1 million paycheck. That's what he kept telling me.
Yeah. Well, it's a round-trip ticket. He can go back and get it. There's something else we want to add to it. Adam, stand by. We have to take a break. Coming up, I have one more thing to show Patsy because I don't want there to be any doubt in any way. We'll be right back. Well, the clock is ticking. Linda emailed me asking for my help immediately to send a wake-up call to Patsy before she becomes homeless. Patsy, I get that it's hard to wrap your head around this. You just said maybe he's not an engineer. You haven't fully grasped this yet. There is no he. They stole that picture off of the internet. This man right here that you're looking at did nothing wrong. This man is not a scammer here. This man's a victim. We're showing the photo so he knows these images are being used as part of a scam. So, who is John Robert Crush? What Patsy knows is that his date of birth was December 22nd and it would be 1947 because she says he's 69 years old. She thinks that he's born in the U.S. or France, that his dad died and moved to Paris with an uncle when he was 12. We did a U.S. background check. There are 21 people that came up named John Crush. There was one actually named John Robert Crush. However, he died in 1929 in Indiana, date of birth 1858.
Not him.
So we did a worldwide check. We checked around the globe. There were multiple results for John Crush, not from this century. The conclusion? John Robert Crush does not exist anywhere on planet Earth. Not in the United States, not in Europe, not in Germany, not in Russia, not in Africa, not in Cairo. The only John Robert Crush we found, we dug until we got his death certificate. And here it is. Full name, John Robert Crush. Date of death, February 2nd, 1929. Date of birth, November 10, 1858. Location, Indiana. We did our homework. This guy is a fiction. He does not exist.
Okay.
I'm worried that you're going to leave here and somehow, some way, these guys are good. And they're going to say, well, you know, I've been under a death threat over here, so I've had to use a different name, and I didn't want to tell you in case they were intercepting our emails or something. My name is really Bob Jenkins or something. I don't want you to fall victim to this person. What do I have to do to know that you believe me here?
I believe you 100%, Dr. Phil. Just the fact that there was no ISIS bombing, the fact that there is no engineering department at the University of Paris. It all just makes perfect sense that he is a fraud. He is a scammer.
And let me tell you, I take no pleasure. I take no pleasure in telling you this. I would love for you to meet someone that you could bond with and share with and love. I'm glad that I'm talking to you when it's $58,000 or $60,000 or $75,000 instead of $250,000. I don't want you to lose all of your money and then say, hell, I've got to work till I drop dead just to keep a roof over my head. She's not meddling in your life. She's trying to save your life here. I do my homework. March 26th of this year, you said, and I quote, everyone was right about John but me, a total scammer, and he has wiped me out. I have no savings and $200 in my checking. My bank called me to warn me because he transferred $6,900 to my credit card, and it was reversed out to another scammer after a couple of weeks. The guy said this happens all over the U.S., and they are so good at it that there is no way to catch them. He said it could be in Nigeria instead of Cairo. So there's that. This was in March of this year. You said, wow.
And I let him convince me that was...
And I am worried that after I've done all of this and told you all of this and enlightened you all this, that somehow or another the heart's going to take over the mind and you're going to do this again. I want you to do me one favor.
Yes, sir. What's that?
You're going to close on your house.
I'm not selling my house.
If you do, will you do me one favor?
Yeah.
Will you put the proceeds of that house, the equity, the money of that house, into a bank account that requires 2 signatures to take it out?
Yes.
Now, I'm not asking much. I'm just asking, will you just, where it takes 2 signatures to get it out so he can't isolate you and he can't get to that money without going through her, because I'd hate to have to go through her.
And she's my little sister.
I want to thank all of my guests today, and a special thanks to Egyptian television host Adham